Hello, everyone. Thank you for your patience. So appreciative of you for watching us here on Authors Advantage. I'm Kira Schaefer. I am the CEO of As You Wish Publishing. My COO, Todd, just brought me coffee. So I'm very happy about that. While we wait for folks to come on, very excited that I get to interview a wonderful, wonderful person who is going to talk to us today about our authentic branding and why being yourself is so good for business. We are live right now on multiple channels out at As You Write in our As You Write community. If you're not on the As You Write community, please head out there. That's out at facebook.com/groups/As You Write. So that we put a ton of tips in there. We put blog posts, we put interviews just like this out there. We do all kinds of fun stuff for authors, specifically for authors out there around marketing, around writing. We do writing prompts, all kinds of fun stuff as well. So we are live there right now. We're out on our YouTube channel. We're out on our As You Wish Publishing Facebook page and my profile. So please say hi to me in the comments, and I'm going to introduce our lovely guest. And Larissa Riley is with us today. She is the founder of Sun Scribe Creative, a Phoenix-based agency dedicated to empowering female business owners through authentic branding and powerful storytelling. With over 17 years of experience, and she must have started when she was like 4. She is gorgeous. Okay, I cannot wait to share her with you. 17 years of experience as a copywriter and brand strategist. Larissa has worked with businesses ranging from solopreneurs to billion-dollar global brands. I'm going to say words in a minute. She specializes in helping clients uncover their unique voice and connect with their audience through a compelling copy, content, and brand strategy. When she's not helping clients shine, Larissa is a proud wife, a boy mom, and a dog mom, I can relate, who loves family adventures, gym sessions, and curling up with a Reese's Book Club favorite. Larissa, welcome.
Hello. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yes. All right. So we've got so many fun things planned, so many questions, so many answers. Just so you know, because we've got to kind of piecemeal all kinds of things together. You may see comments, you may not see comments just on your end, Larissa. I will see them in a variety of places that I have kind of going on here. First off, how did you get started in kind of that brand design and helping entrepreneurs and solopreneurs get to where they are? Tell us about you.
Absolutely. So, oh gosh, how far do I want to go back on this one? When it comes to being a copywriter and a brand strategist, I knew from the get-go that, copywriting was what I wanted to do with my life. I actually went to school for it in undergrad. So years and years ago, I majored in it in college. And when I graduated from undergrad, got a job immediately as a copywriter. And at that time, I was writing website copy for small to medium-sized businesses back when the online space was just this very new thing. And the thing about marketing and working with a variety of clients is I never got bored with it. Maybe some people would get bored with it, but I felt like there was so much variety, and things are always changing, like technology changes and consumers change and markets change. And so that always kept things fresh. So I have spent the past, 17, 18 years doing just that. And I eventually got to a point where I felt like I knew enough to be able to go out and do it on my own. I spent, those 17 years in corporate marketing and just felt like, I had so much to offer to clients of all backgrounds, varieties, industries, sizes. And so in September of 23, I actually launched Sun Scribe Creative based out of my home here in Phoenix, and have really never looked back.
Yeah, I am missing Phoenix. I'm not gonna lie. Warmth right now. So some of you guys know that I moved to Medford, and actually I talked to Larissa because you have family that lives here or lived here. Is that right?
In St. Louis.
In
Yeah.
St. Louis. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we moved to Medford, Oregon, and it's freezing. And so I'm feeling the warmth vibes from
Sending it.
you. I'm feeling it. It's getting into my soul. So greatly appreciative of you on that
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah. Sending all the warmth.
Yes, please, please. I'm going to go over and check on our As You Write community just to make sure I'm seeing things correctly. And so let's get into some of the questions, because I know that our authors have been, and Gigi is watching, one of our all-star authors, multiple solo books, as well as collaboration books with As You Wish. So let's see if we can, if you have any questions, Gigi, please ask them. This is the right person to ask right now. Okay, so let's pop into it. Let's see. I really like this question, and I feel like you answered some, just kind of where you kind of got started. But what inspired you to launch Sun Scribe Creative, and how does it reflect your own brand and authenticity?
Yeah. So, I mean, as I had said before, I've been doing copywriting and brand strategy for a long time. But with Sun Scribe Creative, this was my first time going out on my own doing it. And, when it comes to creating a brand, I think about it through the lens of the senses. I also draw inspiration from place, locations, experiences, taste, sights, sounds.
Yeah.
All of those things go into creating a strong brand. And for me, having been fairly new to the Phoenix area, which is known as the Valley of the Sun, I was really inspired by the desert landscape. Arizona has amazing sunsets. If you haven't seen them, come visit.
Yes.
We are known for that dry heat, but this concept of the sun being in Phoenix was definitely one source of inspiration. But also this idea of light and shining a light on voices, businesses, brands, individuals who are truly talented, offering products and services to the public, or their particular audience. That is kind of the purpose behind Sun Scribe Creative, is to bring your brand voice to light. So light in terms of both living in the Valley of the Sun, but also illuminating these voices that either have yet to be heard or just need to be amplified. Mm-hmm. And the way that I do that is through writing and helping brands and businesses find their voice.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, it's for us, we tend to I feel like connect most with people who are like us or have been through things that we've been through, and I love the stories that our authors share, mm-hmm. because they always offer hope. If you can get to the place where you can write a book about it, mm-hmm. Then your story is really helping people connect with you. Absolutely. And I think that's very powerful.
I agree. I totally agree.
So with an impressive corporate background that you have, what led you to focus on empowering female-owned businesses?
Yeah, I guess I'll start by saying I've always been a bit of a girly girl. I have always loved girly things. I was, Barbie was my favorite toy growing up. But, as I've grown and matured, and I mean, especially working in the corporate space, worked with a variety of different people. But also during my time in the corporate space, I was part of an organization that their tagline was growing the women who grow our business. And so the time spent with other women who were helping to grow the larger organization, really kind of fueled this passion for just working with other women, knowing that we have many of the same challenges, or we're kind of in the thick of it together, and there was just this camaraderie that was so contagious. And so when I decided to launch my own business, one of the things that I first did was I joined a local women's networking group and kind of found the same sort of collaboration, community mindset, that camaraderie that I had experienced previously. And I just can't shake myself from that. That's not to say that I won't work with men, because I do have male clients as well, but there is just something special about working with women, because of our similarities and because of my own knowledge and understanding of some of the roadblocks that we might face in life and business.
I wanted to put your website up so people can
Sure.
know where to find you, as well as your LinkedIn and your Instagram. Do you do a lot on LinkedIn? I'm just curious for myself.
I don't.
No? Okay.
Straight answer is I don't. At some point, perhaps when I have more capacity or bandwidth, or can bring someone else on the team to help with that, I think it is a space, at least for my business, to definitely play in. But even for your audience as authors, there are so many lessons and thought leadership nuggets and stories that play so well on LinkedIn. So I absolutely would not disregard it as a marketing platform, but at least for me, unfortunately, it hasn't been the priority this past year.
And that is okay.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Okay. All right. So can you tell me that connection between storytelling and effective branding? What do you feel it is? I was kind of talking a little bit about it kind of from my point of view, as far as, with authors, especially authors who are using their book as a business card.
Mm-hmm.
We often forget that, we're putting the nuts and bolts. And if I wrote a book on publishing, which I've started, I might get too mental into, this is step 1, step 2, step 3. And a lot of people do kind of want that. But I think they also want that story to understand, oh, I'm not alone. This is kind of scary. So what do you find is the connection with the storytelling and the branding?
Yeah, they are inextricably linked, for sure. I think strong brands have powerful stories behind them. At the surface, you might think that a brand is made up of attributes, like, this coffee is known for bold flavor and the sourcing of their beans, their sustainability practices. And those don't provide enough depth to really be meaningful. And I always go for those brands that have some sort of deeper meaning, because that allows me to connect with them. And in general, that's, how consumers connect with brands. In terms of, your authors and the book that they have as a brand, like, I would assume that their books are chock full of stories of all kinds. I mean, there's stories that are demonstrating perhaps rational information, like how-to steps, or some sort of advice that someone is trying to give. A lot of times those are backed with the story, and the story is what makes it stick. I'm sure you've heard this many times before, but we as humans, have always gravitated to stories because they have the power to uplift. They have the power to, make us feel seen and connect with others. So I could go on about stories, but I will say every brand needs a strong story that has a conflict and a resolution and characters and all of those storytelling aspects that we learned in school. And I'm sure your authors are very familiar with, but the stories that we write for each other are also applicable to the brands that we build to sell our products and services.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So now let's get into a little bit of how do you help business owners discover and develop their unique voice in their brand? What are your first steps for them?
Yeah. First and foremost, it is to understand your target audience. Everything starts with your target audience. Just having that very clear picture of who they are, what they do for a living, what keeps them up at night, what their hopes and dreams are, what aggravates them or inspires them. It's those sort of nuances that can really help you focus all of your branding efforts. It's really the foundation to every strong brand. And once we define that target audience, there are a multitude of things that we can start to do with that target profile. One of them is from there building a brand personality. So is your brand funny and quirky? Is your brand calm and quiet? Is your brand bold and audacious? There's so many avenues for how you can build a brand. And once that brand personality is defined, we can then move to kind of the third step, which is defining your voice and tone. What I do is I kind of build parameters or guideposts for what your voice and tone should be, what it should sound like, what's some of the language that you might use. Should your voice sound like this or that? And so it is a bit of a longer process. It's a journey, but it always starts with the target audience. In the middle is that brand personality work. And then that final piece is putting together real guideposts for defining your voice and tone.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's lots of ways to determine that, and you would help people kind of walk that path. And I really love that about the work that you do. I for me, often when I think about my target audience, hi, Chris Ann. I often think about me 20 years ago. Who was I back then? 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and that's a kind of process that I do in my mind. And because the story is different, at each phase, the feel is different. The information I'm communicating, the way I'm communicating it is so different. Because I couldn't hear things. I was deaf, dumb, and blind at 20 years old. I was like, no. I know everything. Stop telling me things, and then now I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know nothing. So, we're just different people at different times. So I love that, because that target. So this is the other thing that I've noticed too. Like if I do my marketing approach from a place of, I want this kind of person to come into my business, but I don't actually day to day live in my life resonate with that type of person. I don't think they're even going to come. I'm not being authentic, right? And really, truly,
authenticity is a big part of it. When I talk about defining your brand personality, it is absolutely a mix of what your target audience wants, needs, desires, plus who you are. And I think most recently, over the past couple of years, personal branding has shot up as the thing that everyone is going after. And I am all for the personal branding, but I ask that we bring the business branding alongside of it, because that's really like the sweet spot where you can build a brand that is true to yourself, but also meets the needs and desires of your target audience. So, it's this duality of business branding and personal branding. And to your point, yeah, it's authenticity is a big part of it, because if you try to show up as a brand that is not representative of you, people are smart enough to sniff it out and call BS, frankly.
Like, yes, that's exactly right. That's
Right.
exactly right. They call it BS for a reason.
Yes. Yes. And they can sniff it out and spot it like white on rice.
That's right. You got it. This leads me perfectly into the next question. What common mistakes do you see small businesses do? And I consider being an author being a small business owner.
Sure.
And I really, truly think that if you write a book that gets published, that it is important that you treat it like a business. Get a tax ID, take it off on your taxes, do some small business stuff around it, get some of the resources that small business owners tend to have, and engage in different small business type communities, because that will also be a space. So, but what common mistakes do you see small business owners make when it comes to branding, whether it's small business and books or
Yeah. My answer here is kind of twofold. So one, to your point, just the fact of, for instance, an author recognizing that in order to launch a book and have it be successful, you should treat it like a business, right? So that's the first point here is, treating it like a business, but then also building it as a brand. So, step one, treat it like a business. Step two, build it as a brand. I think that is a common mistake among business owners is it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day of checking the boxes in your marketing about what you do, where you can find us online, where we're located, how our product benefits you. But branding is this holistic, all-encompassing experience that attaches real personality attributes to those things, to those check marks. And it's so much more of a robust and deeper experience if you can create that brand more than just a business, more than just a book, because you'll find that people will follow you, they will listen to you, they will take your advice, they'll read your book, they'll recommend it to friends, they'll write a review online. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah.
But it's only through establishing a brand that is relevant, is distinct, and can actually connect with an audience that will allow will prompt your audience to do all of those things, to rave about you and advocate for you.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we have someone on here now, Beth Eiglar. She is phenomenal at brand awareness. She's just wonderful, and she's beautiful hearted. Love face. I love your face, Beth Eiglar. And so, but I to your point, my friend, I want to share. Now, this is something, I mean, and see, this is the branding piece, but it's like with color and font and size and getting a really clear understanding of who your target market is. And I want to show you guys this because it's immediately the top of my mind. So if it's immediate, that's the best marker, isn't it? This fella, his name is Chris Fox. He's an author. And he writes these really cool books, and it's a series called Write Faster, Write Smarter, and 5,000 words per hour, lifelong writing habit, write to market, write to launch, 6-figure author, relaunch your novel, plot gardening, ads for authors, right? So he has, it's distinctive enough that me, who is introduced to thousands of books all the time would be able to go, that's what a good brand does, you know,
Yeah.
not what As You Wish Publishing does. I'll be honest, you know, I am where I am. That's why I have such good friends as Larissa to show me the error of my ways, darling. But I just wanted to show you that. So you guys look up Chris's work, Chris Fox, and these books are they're well written, they're very punchy, they're really easy. They connect with the information quickly, but I also know a little bit of his story. And I think that's really helpful as well. So I just wanted to say that, yeah, you can brand in all different types of ways too. But what his brand is primarily for is self-published. I could tell you what it is. I don't even have to know. I can look at it and go, oh, he does that for self-published authors who want to do it quickly and effectively.
Yeah.
You know?
I picked up on that too. Like the words that came to mind for me were like efficiency and, you know, creating clarity, like really actionable and tangible kind of how to.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. That's, see, when you build a great brand, like you can pull up a screen and I'll, you know, those attributes really start to come through without me even having to dig deeper.
Right. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
You know, we want that for our authors, you know, especially authors who are writing book series. And, you know, you can always redesign your book covers too, guys. Like, don't feel like you're stuck in, okay, well, I have this book and I have this book cover but I want to write 3 more books and all the book covers are different. You don't have to do it that way. Like Sarah J. Maas is like a massive, you know, thing right now. Yes. I haven't read any of the books. I don't think I can read print that small and a book this thick. But people are hot for it. And but her book covers are all consistent. I could point out a Sarah J. Maas book from the back of Barnes and Noble if I wanted to, because they're all consistent. They're not consistently sized though. As a matter of fact, I just did I'm in the middle of publishing a book right now for a lovely lady who has published all of her books in a smaller size than what we typically publish. And I said, do you want it in the same size as you normally publish? And she was like, yes, please. Can we do that? Because her series is in that same. So even those little teeny details can be very powerful.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about benefits. What benefits would womenpreneurs gain by working with you?
Yeah, so kind of going back to a bit of my background and kind of this passion for, you know, working with other women business owners, because a lot of our struggles and challenges are very much the same. You get somebody who is familiar with a lot of those business challenges and even just life challenges. A lot of the clients I work with are mothers. They are building businesses and raising families. And so there's automatically this kind of built-in knowing of just how challenging life in general can be with all of the things that we have on our to-do list and the people we have to take care of. And so first and foremost, that is an approach that I come to the table with, of just knowing that whatever my clients are working on with me, there's a million other things that still need to be done or haven't been tended to. And so, you know, it's always being able to give my clients grace and meet them where they are at. But by the same token, ensuring that I am delivering results that they can shout about, like, you know, that lights them up when they read the copy, or that makes them smile because they have a fully built brand, where a multifaceted brand that, you know, lives and breathes, whether it's them going to an event and speaking about their brand, or if their team members are being empowered to go out and represent their brand. So it's this duality of giving grace at all times and meeting my clients where they are at, but also that determination to deliver results that my clients can feel proud to, post on their blog or send out in an email. So if I could kind of put it into those two buckets, I would say those are the biggest things.
Those are great. Yeah. And, I feel like I get this as a kind of a thought or comment is, well, I'm a writer. Shouldn't I be able to write my own copy and do all this stuff? And it's like, no, I recommend you have somebody kind of like, copy editing is, yes, we can all copy edit ourselves. We can read it out loud. We can go through it. We can use, different tools like Grammarly, AI type of things. But ultimately, I don't want to be the only person who's looked at it. Because I know that there are edges, there's corners that I can't see around. I know that I have, in the cognitive dissonance world, as the curse of knowledge, where you might say something and assume the other person knows something about it, and they really don't. Yeah. And so I, like I said earlier on, it's like, I'm now in a place where I know I don't know anything. And, and it's best to have experts like Larissa, who's worked with, big corporations as well as solopreneurs to get their message out and to say it in a way that it can be received, it can be heard, which I think is so powerful and so key.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. And I'll add to that. I recently worked with a keynote speaker who, is familiar with writing her own keynote speeches, as well as writing thought leadership pieces that, as a way to promote her keynote speaking business. But she actually hired me to produce or copyright emails for her. And there was this like hesitation because she's like, I am a writer. I do write. And I think she admitted to having to humble herself by hiring a copywriter to delegate to. And, there is absolutely that respect for her as a writer, but also having to let her know that there's sales psychology that goes into the work the writing that I do. There are, very strategic and also tactical things that I think about how to nurture your audience to either buy your book or to book your keynote speech. So I am a fan of books and writing and writers, but also very much acknowledge and respect that there's all different kinds of writing. And this little corner of my world with writing that persuades just happens to be my area of expertise.
That's your jam. That's your jam. And I know a lot of our authors, it's not their jam. It's not really something they're all that interested in either. They just want to, tell their story and make it available, because what I've seen with most of our folks, it's about them wanting to offer hope. And if the person that needs to read your book can't get to it because they can't self-identify with it, because they don't have that persuasive copy, or they don't have that persuasive bone, or in very many cases, specifically spiritual writers, where we kind of like just leave it up to the universe to make it all come to us. Yeah. And in many ways that does happen very well. Yeah. But we need our earth angels like Larissa to help us, guide us. I believe that, the universe sends us those kinds of people too. So that I think is key. It's a full-fledged approach to the book as a business, and the book is getting out there. And if you want it to be seen, utilizing Larissa's services could be incredibly beneficial.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. How do authenticity and vulnerability positively impact a brand's ability or a book's ability, right, to connect with consumers?
Yeah, it's about being relatable. You know, we talked earlier about being able to sniff out inauthenticity. If you're showing up as a brand that is not true to yourself, it is really noticeable. It's easy to spot, frankly, because, you know, as marketing and advertising have been in our world and have grown exponentially, you know, we're encountering hundreds of thousands of messages at every given second. We, you know, have become really good at spotting the BS marketing, right? And the brands that are BSing. And so authenticity and vulnerability are just incredibly important, because you want to show up as your real self, because that is what people want to see. Especially, you know, as technology evolves and we're now encountering AI and questioning whether imagery is real or fake. There has been this natural craving and desire for realness, for authenticity. And so, you know, as you show up marketing your book or your business, it's very much a good idea to lean into that authenticity of being who you are, showing up, you know, in your sweats. You know, if that is who you are, if that's who you are in that moment, and that's how you want to come off as being relatable to your audience, I have no qualms about that. You know, it very different from, you know, years past when everything had to be very buttoned up. But there is a certain realness to showing up in your sweats, making coffee in your kitchen to talk about your book or your business. And that also, showing up in your sweats, is a bit of a vulnerable moment. You know, you're not showing up perfect. And actually those imperfections are something that we as consumers are actually embracing so much more today than ever before.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's hard, you know, because I come from that, you know, you have to wear, I was one of those weird kids that wore like a suit to school.
I love it. I love it.
I did. I
Fabulous.
wore a suit to school. I don't know what, I would wear, like, you know, I would just be so buttoned up, in fact, that people thought I was one of the teachers, because I guess I looked a little bit older, a little bit, you know, tall. I was tall, you know. And so I think that I'm still tall. I didn't shrink. And so, I still struggle a little bit with it being not quite right. You know, like, if am I doing it perfectly or to the best of my ability? You know, how does my makeup look? How do I, you know, do I come across, you know, as being too, you know, whatever? But I think you're absolutely right. And for me, it's like finding that balance between, I have something to say, I can't worry about any of this other stuff because something is flowing, you know, and that's more important.
Sure. And I mean, there will be those moments where, you know, you feel like you'll want to show up in a suit. And you know, there are moments where it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna come as I am, and own it. And I just think that mindset today is so powerful. You know, it's not that to say that you can't show up with your makeup done up and, you know, completely buttoned up.
Right.
But if you're somebody who is kind of experimenting with authenticity and you're thinking of ways to try that, I would say, just when it comes to social media, for example, showing up in your sweats, making your coffee in your kitchen in the morning, just try it out and see how it feels. And if it feels okay, take the next step and try something similar. And the more and more you do it, it's just like anything where you develop a habit and kind of become more comfortable with something that you once felt very uncomfortable doing.
I love it. That's fantastic advice. Yeah, especially for those people who are feeling unsure. Just do it. You know, I did a little quick video the other day just showing my creative space.
Mhm.
I had like 400 views on that thing. And I'm like, what? But wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought long form tell all the secrets of the universe, or it's like, no, they don't want that. They're just like, oh yeah, that's good. That's a pretty picture.
Yeah. I mean,
That's fine too. I love that. Yeah.
it's relatable. I actually shared a photo of my extremely messy desk last week. It was a crazy, chaotic week of lots of deadlines. But I posted a picture and just said, in case you thought I had it all together, and there's just piles and notebooks and pens and Kleenex, and it got a ton of engagement because and messages that said, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I relate.
That's real life, and that's relatable, and that's what people gravitate to these days.
Yeah. And I think when you build a relationship with people too, like whether it's online or in person, or they're your clients or your customers, I mean, some of the comments were like, I really miss your face. I love you, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so sweet. I love you too. I miss you too, and come and watch us, tomorrow with me, with Larissa, and, so it's so interesting because I think connection is so valuable right now. It is so valuable. It's so needed and so desired. And at least for me, I need my girls. I need my girl time. I need my connection time. And I've been so lucky to get to talk to people over the last week or so, just here and there, and connect. It's been very uplifting.
Yeah.
So let's see. This is a great question. And it's one of our last questions before we walk into, kind of some of your special things going on. How does copywriting, the work that you do with copywriting, differ from being a brand strategist?
Yeah. So I'll start with brand strategy. Brand strategy is a lot of strategic thinking type of work. It's kind of carving a path forward for how you would stand out as a brand, be a brand that is distinct and relatable and true to who you are. And that requires just a lot of brain power and strategic thinking to kind of map that out, and also explore like what avenues you would take to arrive at a brand. The copywriting, on the other hand, is much more tactical and executional. It's not to say that it's not strategic, because of course there's a lot of strategic thinking that goes into copywriting, but with copywriting, I'm putting a lot of pen to paper to actually craft the words that you would use to communicate to an audience. Brand strategy does have writing involved, but typically I'm writing on behalf of a brand, creating foundational documents that would be more likely kept internal versus sharing externally with the world. Copywriting, on the other hand, is very much external. Like these are the words to sell, to persuade, to convince. So, all of it works together in a lot of ways, because, to be a great copywriter, you've got to have an understanding of branding and content marketing, many other different forms of marketing as well. In order to be a good brand strategist, you've got to have writing skills to be able to clearly communicate who your brand is, what it stands for, and how it's different. So those are, kind of the reasons I would give for, teasing those two things apart. But, by the same token, they are very much related.
Yeah, very good. All right, let's talk about your Cyber Monday deal that's going to be going on for a while. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So let's see. Yesterday was Cyber Monday. I launched 3 offers. As of yesterday, they are running for 2 weeks. So December 16th is the last day to snag them. But the 3 offers are, number 1, performing an entire marketing audit across all of your marketing touch points. And then I provide recommendations for what you should improve and prioritize in 2025. So if you are somebody who just needs those expert eyes to take a look at all of your marketing activities and kind of pinpoint what's working, what's not working, and maybe what you should focus on in the new year, that is a great one, to work with me on, just to get started. Get your feet wet with how to improve your marketing for next year. Package 2 is an email welcome sequence. So if you are an author or business owner who is working to grow your email list, I will write up to 4 emails in a welcome sequence to start building a relationship with your audience and have them get to know you better, have them learn more about your products and services, your books. It's all about, like we've been talking about, connection, a relationship building. Email marketing is a really great way to do that because it's a bit of a one-on-one communication. You're hitting their inbox, and it is this very focused activity where they are reading directly on their screen or on their phone. Mm-hmm. So that is package 2. Package 3 is SEO blog posts. So if you are an author or a business that has a blog and would like some extra, writer power behind you, these would be 1 blog post a month for either 6 months or a full 12 months, all packed with keywords that are tied to your brand or business. A minimum of 1,000 words per article. So this is really heavy lifting in terms of not just blog writing, but blog articles that are optimized for search engines so that you can get seen, your website can get seen.
Incredible. That's incredible. And how do we get to that?
Yes. So visit my website, thesunscribe.com. There is a button in the navigation called Copy Concierge, and it runs through all of those offers, all the details, the pricing. And all you have to do is book a consultation to lock in that rate. And if, you'd like to move forward, we will schedule time to work together in 2025.
Perfect. I mean, guys, talk about walk your talk, right? like that's the thing, right? So here's the Sun Scribe. This is where you go. But look at her. This almost made me cry. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. What a gorgeous image. And I love all the pictures of the people. Oh my God, that is so cool. I love that. Cyber Monday. And there's your packages. Oh my God, look at how cute you are. How do you do this? You're so cute. Thank you. Oh my gosh, these prices are unbelievable. These are amazing. Okay, great. Good. Yay. Look at you. You're so cute.
Okay. Thank you. Good branding photos are also very helpful as well. So, had to plug that.
I know. It really does matter. I mean, I'm like, we've got to do something. We got to do something. I can't. We got to get some pictures of it.
I know some people. We can talk more later.
Yeah, the Olin Mills shit of the past is just.
Oh, if we brought back glamour shots, I might be
glamour shots. That's what we need.
I might
with a boa,
for that
feather boa, and a cowboy hat.
Yes, and the collar, the
collar.
Yes. This signature pose.
What? Am I trying to kill myself?
Oh yeah.
Oh God, that's so great. And the just flagrant.
Oh yeah. The blush streaks.
That's right. As high on the. Larissa, you taking me back, sissy. You taking me back.
I'm here for it. Let's go.
Kim Padretz. Hey, girl. She's visiting with us. Wow. Okay. Let me see if I have any. We're gonna do rapid fire,
Oh, okay.
and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Okay. Where is my thingy? Hold on. I gotta find all my stuff. So, okay, we've got where they can find you. That's good. And I've been popping it up on the screen here and there too. So here is our rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yes, let's do it.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Yeah, I'm kind of like this quasi in between. For you, is it just like this? Like, do you find some peace at the end of the day?
I don't know what it is. Mornings are hard for me, especially, in these fall, winter months where it's still dark. I've never been a morning person. It was on my New Year's resolutions list is to try to become a morning person. And yeah,
if your rhythms aren't there, they're just not there. Our brains aren't supposed to do that.
Yeah. And I found that it can't be forced. So we're going to stick with night owl.
I love it. I'm kind of like, I'm at like 8, 9. My brain doesn't start working till like 10 or 11 a.m. So I just go with that. Yeah. Coffee or tea?
Coffee for sure. Well, you know what? Coffee in the mornings, but I do love Pure Leaf, like bottled iced tea.
Oh yeah, I love those. Those are so good. Yeah. I think I drank my fill of those at a certain point, though, but I do love them.
Yeah.
Favorite family travel destination?
It's got to be Hawaii. So I'm Pacific Islander. We have family in Hawaii. So not only is it just a beautiful destination, but my family has a lot of roots there and a lot of history. So that kind of makes every trip 10 times better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you have a place to stay? Or is it just like staying with family and you're like, well, I don't want to overstay my welcome.
Now that we've got kids, it's really hard to fit in family members' homes, which is a bummer because everything in the islands is so expensive. Would love to stay with family, but need a little bit more square footage for my rambunctious boys.
Just give the kids to the family, and then you.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think that works. I would do that. I love kids. If you have dinner with if you could have dinner with any author, who would it be? Past, living, present, whatever.
Oh goodness. Any author. You may had mentioned Sarah J. Maas earlier.
Yeah.
I've only read 2 of her books. I've been impressed. I'm not like a raging super fan, but I would be interested in just hearing her story and what it's been like to just massively take off. Like I would imagine, any other author who has gained monumental success kind of goes through this process of just feeling incredibly lucky and maybe some overwhelm. And, at what point do you say, okay, I'm good now. I'm gonna, get my home on the beach and just, live out the rest of my life? Or, what are your plans to continue trying to continue that success? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, once you hit that high note, do you settle in and chill, or how do you keep it going?
Yeah, I think that would be very, don't worry, guys, don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. I haven't hit my high note yet. So I can imagine that would be difficult. I would say for me, maybe George Bernard Shaw. He was more of a playwright. But I really liked his style of, and I don't know, the way his writing style has always kind of spoke to me in a very unique way, that helped me really kind of understand things about the human condition and why we do what we do and how we do things. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Hi, Gail. So it's just so, I mean, there would be so many I would want to just, Thoreau, Emerson, those guys. I would even, say like the guy who channeled, um, um, and did the I Am discourses. I would like to talk to him and see what that was all about. Just so many interesting, how and thinking about that, like they have their own brand, they're philosophers, essentially, and they were connecting us to ideas and concepts that everyday life somewhat showed us, but at a deeper level.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's so key too.
Yeah, I think too, it's one thing to be like enthralled by a book, and then to be able to like interview or chat with the author is like just another level of depth that, I don't know, hopefully one day I might get to experience, like to read a really good book and then to interview the author behind it.
Well, if you stick around, you might be interviewing our authors.
Yeah, there we go.
They all have amazing books and stories, and it's so hard to get above the noise, and I think having a branding expert at your side could be incredibly beneficial, because I know you would help them get above that noise.
Absolutely.
Let's see, what's your guilty pleasure TV show?
Oh gosh. So don't judge me, but
no judgment.
When I am on the couch in front of the TV, I am just all about vegging out like completely mindless reality TV shows like Selling Sunset on Netflix, and maybe a time or two Keeping Up with the Kardashians, or the Kardashians, whatever. But it's just that those moments of like, wow, that is drama for them that really isn't drama for me, and that's just fine.
It feels great.
Yeah.
God, you are a mess.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Like, yep. I'm just this is my mindless TV, just watching it unfold, and grateful that it's not me in those shoes.
Yeah, I know. I all of my stuff is like British murder crime mystery shows.
Oh yeah.
I could eat those like potato chips. Those are so good. I love them. I love them. And I also love I watch people build houses on YouTube. That's what I just watch them build them from, or renovate them or do what, but it's not like any commentary, and there's no drama. It's just tearing the wall down, putting the wall up, tearing it down, and I'm like, this is phenomenal. I'm going to pass out right now. So
that's great.
All right, let's see.
Your British crime shows, though, are those YouTube ones as well, or are they on a particular network?
I've got Acorn.
Oh, okay.
I've been thinking about BritBox. I've been, I'm like, have I gotten through all the ones on Acorn? There's a Canadian one called Murdoch Mysteries. There's another one called Midsummer Murders. Those are probably the two very long running on Acorn that are so good.
Okay.
I will go back and watch them all again. It's a little bit of my ADHD, habit, where a lot of people who have certain levels of ADHD like to not be surprised by anything. And it's like,
there's a comfort there. Yeah.
Such comfort.
Love it.
Go to gym playlist. You have a favorite workout music or type of music?
There's a particular song that I'll share. No Doubt's Sunday Morning. It's just got, this is old school Gwen Stefani from like the 90s.
Yeah.
But it just got a good ska punk energy that's just a genre that we don't hear so much anymore. So it's nostalgia for me, but also a really just motivating track. So that's always on the workout playlist.
Yeah. I got some, I like doing yoga and Qigong and stuff like that. So I have more of that Zen playlist, but I also like doing Zumba. I got my Zumba certificate years ago. And so every once in a while I get that Latin vibe going. And
yes.
Yeah. One word to describe your approach to business.
I think I would lead with strategic. A lot of that comes from just having been in corporate for, gosh, decades. That anytime I'm working on my business or in my business, it is it is about choice, being strategic about my choices, and so much of that is because um, you want efficiency. You don't want to waste budget, or trying to be very, very thoughtful and strategic about decisions, because there are a million choices to be made in your business, and even behalf on my clients too. I mean, a lot of this work is creative, so it's an art and a science, but applying strategy to creative work and approaching it as creative strategy is that good balance of being my most creative self, but also in a way that will drive results, and get more of my clients to buy or convert.
I love it. So good. One food for the rest of your life?
I mean, the first thing that came to mind was French fries, because I am just a French fry girly. So always have been. I don't discriminate either. I can do Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, Jack in the Box, curly fries, waffle fries, all of the above.
All the fries.
Yeah.
I think for me, I would be a pizza girl. I would be all kinds of pizza, like whether it's a margarita pizza, where it's just the olive oil on a bread, I guess because it can have all kinds of things on it.
Yeah. Love it.
Let's see. What's the most, here's the last question.
Okay.
And I'll let you go, but not for my heart. What's the most used app on your phone?
It's definitely Instagram. So, gosh, I have been on Instagram since the earliest days. Just being in marketing, you always kind of try to hop on the newest technology or the newest social platform just to feel it out. Not that you have to, spend a lot of time there, but I've seen Instagram evolve to what it is today, and that's honestly where a lot of my clients are. If they are on any one platform, it tends to be Instagram. And so I'm very active on Instagram. I post all sorts of marketing, copywriting, and branding tips there. So it is a place where I have a little bit of fun and showcase my personality and what's going on in my personal life. But I'm also working really hard to educate my audience there by giving them, tips and tricks when it comes to copy and branding. And I also do kind of like deep dives on what brands are making a splash today and how we can take those lessons from those big brands and apply them to our own businesses.
Brilliant. Even the rapid fire questions, guys, and she's just amazing. Go out to the sunscribe.com, check out her cyber deals. There are amazing deals that she's got going on for the next just 2 weeks. So you'll want to sign up. Let's see. Is there anything else you'd like to leave our friends with? And I'll pop off and we'll close it up.
Yeah, I would just say thank you for tuning in, for listening. If you want to connect, please reach out to me. There's a contact form on my website, thesunscribe.com. But just, I think from writer to writer, I know that the road and the journey, whether it's writing your actual book or writing to market your book, is, can have some twists and turns, but I just have such a great appreciation for those who have chosen writing as a profession or a passionate pursuit. So keep going, keep writing, and I'll do the same.
Yay! Larissa, thank you so much for being with us. And this is absolutely invaluable information, or incredibly valuable information. I could never figure that one out. I am a writer. I
believe you. Yes. Got the glamour shot to prove it.
Anyway, stay backstage, and I will see you in just a moment.
Sounds good.
Guys, Larissa Riley, you need to go and see her. You need to go to thesunscribe.com and check her out. Check out her awesome cyber deals. She will help you with your brand awareness, help you in so many different ways of getting that copy down, help you with that email, flow. There's just so much she can help you do that I know that your passion is writing. And you don't want to be bothered with all that other stuff. I know, because I don't want to be bothered with all that other stuff. But she can help you. So thank you, Larissa, for being here. Guys, we have an open book right now. Go out to asyouwishpublishing.com/wewrite. We have an open collaboration book specifically for women entrepreneurs who want to get the word out about their business. But also, this collaboration is about giving a hand up to those people who are going to be coming next. So female-led business owners is who we want. We have a lot of great prompts over there. So if you're not sure, please reach out to me, connect at asyouwishpublishing.com. Please set something up with me. I'm happy to do a coffee chat. Could give us a call. It's 602 I remember my phone number, 849-4500, and we'll get you set up and get you going. So I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful afternoon. I will be seeing you again soon, and I will talk to you later.